educational. This is fun, so I don't have a problem with it, but moving forward, I'd like other classes to think of maybe some other things that could include bonding plus getting smarter.
They have 180 days of education a year. This is a weekend.
No, but the
Right.
seniors only have 165.
Well,
I'm very
I mean,
concerned about that.
I would agree, but we're on a weekend.
It's
not
a
school day.
weekend.
Right, it's a week, it's a week,
cheap,
right.
and you can drive there.
It's a weekend, so I have no problem. If it was during the week, I would probably have a little problem.
Well, just for the record, I wouldn't have any trouble if it was during the week. I mean,
I would.
yeah, so,
Hey, you're not running, what?
these kids are gonna be voting someday.
That's, Sarah just signed my nomination papers. She's already a voter. Well, if we have I don't want this to get voted down, so if we have a consensus that it's gonna get approved, however, if we don't, then I think, but I don't know how much longer we can wait on this either.
Well, Maureen said she's in.
Yeah, I'm
So,
big-
I mean, Karen can still ask questions, and if there's issues, we can raise
Bring
them,
it, she
you know,
can
but-
always bring it back.
Yeah.
Cliff, have any questions? No?
No?
Okay.
It's
All right,
in May. It's in May.
Yeah.
It's a good place.
Yeah.
I'll make a motion to approve the North Reading High School Class of 2010 senior class trip.
A second.
Any further discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Unanimous. Thank you.
Have fun.
Have a good time.
We'll move back to the school calendar, which is something else we postponed from our last meeting. We had 2 calendars presented to us. In the past, the prior superintendent used to bring forward a calendar where the kids started school before Labor Day, and it was always rejected by the school committee. This calendar has a little different. It's the staff returning before Labor Day, not the students. We asked Dr. Mandeville to get in touch with the teachers and find out where they stood, and he's done so. So, Steve, do you want to give us a summary of your findings?
Thank you. After the last meeting, I spoke with Eric Foreman, who's the president of the North Reading Educators Association. He had taken the 2 calendars to the executive board, thank you. And the executive board had voted overwhelmingly to have the teachers come back. They liked the teachers coming back before Labor Day for the 2 days, and starting it under that program. But following the committee's wish, we did a survey of all the teachers. I sent out an email to everybody and told them what was going on, and I wanted to speak to their building reps. The building reps were primed. And as you can see, throughout all the schools, 101 of the faculty voted for an earlier start, the pre-Labor Day start. 57 voted to maintain the normal schedule, and I'm assuming those that didn't vote didn't care one way or the other. And the administration, the leadership council likes the idea of coming back before Labor Day with the teachers, because it gives them a little more flexibility and they can do the professional development day. So I would recommend that the second calendar, the one with the teachers coming back on September 1st and September 2nd, be approved. I will, however, throw one thing into the mix. The paraprofessional contract says that if they come back to work before Labor Day, they get paid a holiday. Labor Day is a paid holiday. So I had a meeting with the president of the Paraprofessionals Association today, and what her group would like to do. I'm sorry, the other part of the contract says that they will work one more day than the students attend school.
Right.
So we talked about having them come back on the first day that the kids come back, that Tuesday. And then there's another professional development day that's usually scheduled for the second semester. And either let them come in and work in their classrooms, because there's always a ton of stuff that has to be done, or that's my second choice. My first choice is getting them some professional development in areas where they feel they need it, so that they would get a professional development day too. So it's not, a huge issue here. It's just something that came up since the last meeting.
I like the idea of them not having to come until the students
Right.
to avoid
Right.
the holiday pay.
Right.
Now, have we before, though, do you know, had situations where we've had all the paras out on the same day? Because obviously, the system's highly dependent on them in a lot of areas. Obviously, we'd have plenty of time to plan for that May date, if that's what it is, where they'd be out. But I'm just wondering how that would,
I would anticipate, I think the answer to your question is no, we haven't had all the paras out. And I think that probably there will be some people, administrators, and teachers in the system who are gonna say, you can't expect me to set up for the kids without having the paraprofessionals in
Right.
these schools.
right,
So, we'll have to work that out, but as you said, we have plenty of time.
yeah.
How does that work though? Because when everyone comes back for that first orientation day, that's an all staff, that includes the paraprofessionals.
Yes.
So they would not be part of that, or part of the
No,
professional development day.
if we can bring them back
Mhm.
and say, we want you back on Tuesday, and then off
Pay
you
them
go,
off, yeah.
but then we owe them for Labor Day because they
Right.
started before Labor Day, and the other part of it is, you're saying to people, come back one day, for one day of work in the last week of the summer, and, you know,
Right.
so that, Jean Hansen was in favor when I spoke with her of just saying, well, we'll start the first day the kids start, and, we like the idea of the professional development day.
And so the professional development day that they would have later during the school year has not been designated yet? The date's not selected?
It's designated on the original calendar, and this year it's in May.
Mm-hmm.
What we would like to do is move it up so that it's closer to the beginning of the second semester. We'll still be in the second semester, but not so far towards the end of the school year. So we haven't actually filled that date in yet. Rick.
Okay. Anyone have any questions?
I guess I do have the two concerns that the paras won't be there for what they've traditionally been there every year for that staff day, the day before school, and they're addressed by the superintendent and the school committee and the school teachers union president.
Right.
I don't think it's a huge deal, but it's just, we've done that, they've always been part of that. And so I guess I have a little concern about that, but at the same time, I don't think there's room in the budget to have them come back and then pay them for the
No.
Labor Day holiday.
Yeah, I don't think there's a whole lot of turnover with that group. is
No, there isn't.
I don't think
No,
there's
very
a lot.
little.
No.
Yeah, very little turnover, so.
So I can live with that, I have a little
I mean,
concern.
having been
but-
part of that orientation program 3 consecutive years, not that it's not important, it is, but I think they could probably get by without it.
The only difference is this year we'll have a new superintendent. I guess that's the.
Yeah, that's good point,
And
yeah.
in that professional development day, sometimes it is about issues that paraprofessionals are involved in, you know, EpiPen training, for instance. So I'm wondering if we should really be approaching this change with teachers and paraprofessionals agreeing to it.
But if they agree to it, we will have to pay them
Well,
for
unless
Labor
we,
Day.
unless we enter into some kind of agreement or change in their contract.
You would have to, it's in the contract,
Yeah.
it's written in the contract. So what you would have to do is sit down with them and just negotiate a one-year memorandum of understanding. It just said, you know, we want you back on these 2 days. In lieu of paying you for the Labor Day holiday, we will do the following, whatever that would be.
Something that doesn't cost us money.
It would have to be
you know.
negotiated though, obviously.
Right.
So,
So Keith, your recommendation is bring the teachers back and let the parents start on the Tuesday?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's what the staff wants to do as well, at least those that took that.
the majority of it's like 65% of the staff wants to do that, 60%.
Twice as many that a parent would care one way or the other.
Right, right. So perhaps we give it a try next year. It doesn't lock us into doing it every single
No.
year. All right.
The thing I like about it is if there's no snow days, and so far there haven't been this year, the schools would close on June 16th, which is,
See how this worked out this year? We had that late Labor Day.
Right.
We insisted we start school after Labor Day, and then there were no
there's
school
no snow days, right.
Unbelievable.
You never have snow days.
But from the same standpoint, you're starting before Labor Day, and yeah, you get a 4-day weekend there, but once you're back, you're back.
Well, the kids
We're in
aren't
full
starting.
swing right away.
The kids aren't starting till after Labor Day.
Right.
So that's why I'm fine with that.
Right. I want to infringe on families that already have plans.
Yeah, I'd make a motion to adopt the recommendation of the superintendent and have the teachers return for those 2 days prior to Labor Day and have the students return on the Tuesday after Labor Day.
So that would be approving the, I guess,
Before Labor Day.
the alternate calendar, or the
He's got it marked before Labor Day start.
September 7th start, right? September 7th start for the students.
Correct.
Yep. It's September 1st for the staff. Wednesday, the 1st for the staff.
Okay, so it's Wednesday the 1st, and the 2nd they have
Professional
professional development
development.
day, and then the 3rd they're off.
Right.
Okay, I'll second that.
Discussion. Is it mandated that all staff attend the professional development day?
Yes.
Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
No.
Three. Okay. Next, the Massachusetts School Building Authority update.
Yes, I left by your seats notes that I took from the discussion I had with Diane Sullivan, which occurred unfortunately after everybody had left. She was home with a sick child, that's why she couldn't get to us. And I had written down all the questions. Chuck was with me, he was able to come over. And basically, I think that when sort of as I said many times, we have to keep moving, but we're not in a sprint yet.
Right.
So there was some question about when the secondary school building committee had to actually be seated and functioning. And I explained to her that we had some concerns about filling some of the slots. And she said that you don't have to have these people seated right away, but once the funding is procured for the first phase, the feasibility part of it, the secondary school building committee should be in place to help with the selection of the OPM and also the designer. She also said that when you make up the secondary school building committee, you want to make sure that the majority of the members are voting members, and that there is a very small number of members who are connected with the school department in any way. Now, there are some, obviously, they want a principal on there, they want the superintendent on there, but otherwise, she doesn't want, the architect being a teacher in the system, that kind of thing. She also made it clear that that committee is a fluid committee, and that they understand that over the course of the building process, people are going to leave, they're going to resign, you're going to appoint new people, that seats that are designated as voting seats can become non-voting seats, and people can move around. And you can do that as long as there's a rationale to do it. And you should send the information to the Mass School Building Authority when you do it, so they know what's going on. She also said it's extremely important to identify early in the process who is the person, or I said the position, who has the authority to sign the contracts. They need to know who actually can sign.
Now, that would be in addition to the superintendent and the chair of the school committee, isn't that usually how it works?
I
Terry?
think in the past, I'm assuming there's going to be a chair elected for the committee, and I
Yeah.
think in the past, the chair signed most
Sign
of
those
the documents.
Along with the superintendent and
Yeah.
the school committee chair, right?
Pretty sure.
Yeah, you only sign them if you have a vote anyway.
Right.
Right. Okay, so it would be the chair.
Okay.
I would assume that.
But they just you need to make sure you know who it is.
Yep.
The MCPPO individual needs to be identified and certified prior to the time that the actual procuring takes place. So, if you remember, Greg said he was well on his way to being certified. Essentially, what she said to me on Thursday was he has to get certified. As far as the timeline is concerned, I said to her that it was my hope and my intention that the initial round of forms that we received would be returned to her in mid-March, and she